What's up, guys? So we've got another awesome deck profile today. Who am I going to be profiling about the Sanctum Squad Winter Regional?
Hello, my name's Ned. I came third on Virtual World.
Awesome.
It's a pretty interesting tournament. Love to do it again. Shoutouts to Sanctum Squad. Did a great job running the first tournament. It's great fun.
Yeah, definitely a really fun tournament they did. Okay, so yeah, Ned, lay it on us, bro. What have you got for us with your Virtual deck?
So pretty standard ratios for Virtual World. I'm running 3 Lily, 3 Lulu, 3 Lao Lao, 3 Gigi, 2 Nyan Nyan. That's it for the Virtual World monsters. Nothing special there. Standard ratios.
Yeah.
Had a couple of times where I banished 2 Nyan Nyans, which is unfortunate because they're off of desires. Because then you can't recycle back any of your engine. But if you play free, you're going to start bricking quite hard because you don't really want to see this in your hand all too much. So I think it was fine the way it was. 3 Ash and only 2 Veiler. That's just for the space. Didn't have if I wanted to stay at 40, but I couldn't really find another card to cut to play a third Veiler. Okay. So that's it for those other hand traps. 3 Imperm. These performed really well for me today. I think it was a good ratio. Don't think I really needed any more. I had them when I needed them. Imperm's definitely a lot better. Out of the worst hand trap, I think, in the deck was the Veiler. Might consider cutting this for Ghost Bell or another type of good hand trap. But yeah, they perform fine for me. Virtual World spells, 3 Kowloon. No one ashed this. I don't know if people know that you can ash this, but no one ashed this. You should almost always ash this. 3 Kinglong. 2 Chuche, 1 Zhuanwu. That's it for Virtual World spells and traps. Standard ratios worked well. Actually, this field effect came up once in round 1, won me a game. Playing against Invoked Door Dogma, summoned a Winder, and I used this to put it defense and ran over it with a Nyan Nyan on my turn, so that was interesting. 3 Desires. Again, if you run 2, you don't know maths. 3 Triple Tactics Talents. A lot of people play 2 of this, but I would never want to cut this down to 2. Every single time I saw it, it was live. Almost every single time you're getting hand trapped in some way on the turn 1, and if you don't, then it's just a really good card for your next turn, either stealing a card from their board, ripping engine pieces out of their hand, drawing 2 cards to outboards. Never a bad card, always good. 2 E-Telly, summoning Nyan Nyan from your deck, gets it into rotation, because your target for your Virtual Worlds. You can use this in damage step, in battle phase. Not damage step, sorry. You can use it in battle phase. But this matters sometimes to out IP, because you can just go enter battle phase and then use the E-Telly in battle phase to summon a Nyan Nyan to run over the IP. And obviously, if I can't use the IP because you're in battle phase at this point. 1 call by. This is why I couldn't play the third Veiler. Couldn't find another card to cut for it, but I don't think I saw this once, but you got to play it anyway.
It is how it is.
That's it for main deck. 40 cards. Everything worked fine. Other than the Veilers, I don't think there's anything I really would have changed.
Okay, solid.
Moving on to the extra deck. Oh, sorry, what?
No, I'm saying solid, yeah. Standard list.
Moving on to the extra deck. Shen Shen, best card. Revivable. Yeah. If you're playing Virtual World, you don't have a Shen Shen, you're an idiot. The Zolkin package, Zolkin and Crystal Wing. This is really good, and it's other than Zeus, this is basically how you out Dragoon. It's really good to have in your first end board. Combos really well with Mud Dragon and Kaliga. This card was bonkers. You play against any form of combo, anything like that, this card just completely ends them. Not many people know how to deal with it. Yeah. Vermilion Dragon Mech. I didn't make this too much. I don't know if I made it at all, actually. I still think I'd play it. It lets you add back one of your banished tuners when it's destroyed, which really helps if you just need an advantage for next turn. Sometimes you just make this to add back a Lulu for advantage on next turn and use its effect to pop itself. But it's also really good for breaking boards, and it's just another second Synchro 9 after your Shen Shen, which sometimes you need just to push the game and things like that. Break Sword. This was really good for outing boards and making Zeus. Another rank 3 that I think I'd play if I was going to change anything was the Jar Jar, because this, while these monsters out Dragoon, if you can use them to go into Zeus, Jar Jar outs Dragoon on its own, as long as you've already pushed to force the negate, which is Zulkan will do almost every time. If opponent has a Dragoon and they don't negate your Zulkan effect, then they're just going to lose to the Crystal Wing. So, then we've got the Down of Magician for the Break Sword to help you make a format Zeus. Explains itself, really. M7. This card was incredibly good. Add back follow-up, bounce back your opponent's monsters. You have to play this card. Fan. This came up under Rivalry for me one time to banish my opponent's Rivalry and a card from the deck when I played against Altergeist in round 5, I believe, against Jacob. It's an incredibly good card. If it's destroyed by battle card effect, you get to summon 2 virtual monsters from your deck, which is incredibly good. So they have to kind of find a way around it, otherwise it gets effects when it's destroyed, like Beatrice. Gaia Charger for, again, making a format Zeus. And then we have generic level 6 synchros. Coral Dragon, it's a tuner for Zulkan to make with Lily, or GG if you've got a True Shader Banish and Graveyard to make level 6. The effect of Pop comes up quite a lot actually by discarding. Can let you discard your virtual spells and traps as well. Send to the graveyard, draw a card, more advantage. Stardust Charge Warrior, you make it, you draw a card, you go into Zulkan, or you make a rank 6. Really good. Yugioh. This card is insane. You banish 2 virtual monsters with the same type and attribute from your graveyard to target a card on the field and send it to the graveyard. So that's really good into back row decks when you just need to start getting rid of the back row. Also, while you have 2 monsters in your graveyard with the same type and attribute, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, which is actually quite hard to out for a lot of back row decks.
Yeah, definitely.
For example, with Geist, their only way to really get rid of this is with Silk. So as long as you have ways to stop the Silk, this really starts to break apart their boards. Yeah, it was just incredible. I made it against Geist twice, because I played in Geist twice actually, once in round 5, once in round 6. And yeah, it was really, really good. The only card in the extra deck I'd really change would be playing the Jar Jar. I don't know if I'd cut the Break Sword for it, but I definitely find something to cut for that. Onto the side deck. Okay, so we have 1 Pancratops, obviously. This card's really good. Going second, doesn't really need much explanation. Same with Feather Duster and Red Reboot. These cards, almost every side deck. Yeah. Then there was, for other hand traps, I played 2 Droll. I saw this once against Invoked Doll Dogma player, and it kind of just ended its turn. So yeah, it's really good. You activate Meltdown, searched Alistair, Droll, and then you just passed pretty much. Didn't make too much of a board, wasn't too hard to out. Other cards to out for back row, decks. 3 Twin Twisters. This card's really good, especially if you open the virtual world spells and traps, especially King Long, to pitch for it. Could be really good. I opened 2 of this in round 5 against Geist, which is how I outed his board. Because he had a Secret Village, a Judgment, and a Protocol with a Multifaker in hand. So he tried to summon a Multifaker to bring his Secret Village online, and I just twin twisted it. He judgmented, twin twisted the protocol and the secret village in response to multi-faker effect in hand, and that won me that game. I'm playing one lightning storm because I only had one. I never saw this, so I did it in a lot. Never saw this card. Only own one. Don't know if I'd play it again. I don't even know if it's that good. Probably just play a third roll instead of this if I was going in again. I just got one about like a day or two before the tournament, decided to play it. Thought it'd be funny. I didn't see it though, so yeah. 3 Dark Ruler. This deck can struggle incredibly. This deck struggles so much into decks like Drytron and Phantom Knights going second. Into Phantom Knights, you do not care about their Fog Blades at all, pretty much. So you just need to Dark Ruler for monster boards for the Appaloosa, and sometimes they make the Utopic Dragon Xyz monster, which is quite hard for you to out. And Drytron boards, I didn't play against Drytron all day, but I think I used this on someone's Dragoon. I don't know if it was yours, Simeon, but
I never managed to summon a monster against you. So
yeah. Speaking of cards that don't let your opponent summon monsters, Tikaboo.
Oh, yeah.
This card is insane. So after you've made your initial board as a virtual world, you don't care about Tikaboo.
Yeah.
However, if you open this card after siding it in for game 1 and you brick or you can't make your board, I would do as much as you possibly can not to flip this on your opponent's turn, because it's almost impossible to make a board on virtual world for a Tikaboo. However, after you're set up, if you have this card, it just ends the game. It's very strong.
That's a really interesting choice, actually, I'd say. But I think, yeah, it makes sense though. And to be honest, the worst case scenario, you could potentially out with your own Chucho as well. But yeah,
but again, there's the point of if you've bricked, you're not getting to live Chucho to pop the Tikaboo. And yeah, speaking of that interaction, works really well with the Kaliga. Not just popping it with the Chucho, but also you can negate it with your own Kinglong, which really helps on your own turn.
Makes sense.
But yeah, back to the deck. Not too much I'd change. Third draw instead of a Lightning Storm. Play a Jar Jar for another Dragoon out. Yeah, that's it pretty much.
That's pretty solid. So yeah, no, you definitely did a really good job getting that. I think you said third place in it.
Yes,
yeah, third place virtual. So really good job, dude. And this is your first event with the deck as well, which I think is
yeah. So fun fact: before I went to this tournament, I had never played this deck in real life before. I think I played it 2 matches with it the day before against one of my friends using some proxies in Birmingham. But other than that, I had never played this deck in real life before. I decided to play it for the event about a week before and just played a ton online on Dueling Book to prepare for the event. And yeah, that's how I got where I am.
Okay, well, no, really good job, dude. Yeah, really, really impressive, and it's good to see that regionals are coming back. So yeah, fingers crossed we'll see you doing a lot more tops with this deck and other ones. So yeah,
yeah, hopefully.
Have you got any shout outs?
Shout out to the people I went to the tournament with, Matt and Joe. Matt came 7th and Joe came 17th. Matt was the Geist player, played in round 6, who opened Double Silk game 2, so that was fun.
yeah, I just did his profile as well. Yeah, he's definitely still in pain about that.
That was an interesting one.
Right. But yeah, awesome. Right, so yeah, thank you all for watching, guys, and I'll be sure to have some more profiles up soon. Peace.